Hope you're all doing well. I want to go over the 24-week marathon training plan and why I think 24 weeks or 6 months is so vital for marathon success, especially with the marathon. There's so many athletes out there that get frustrated and get upset when they don't meet their goals. And a lot of times it's not a matter of they don't have the capability to run a new personal best over the marathon distance. It's just they're trying to cram too much of that training that they're into a smaller period of time versus a longer period of time. And 6 months is plenty of time for we as athletes to really get in phenomenal shape. And sometimes the proper amount of time for the marathon to really succeed at it is up to a year. Now, I don't mean that you train throughout that full 12 months. You want to have at least a couple weeks off, or at least up to about a month off completely during that 12-month buildup. Okay, we can't continue to train for long periods of time without giving ourselves some time away from the sport and to recharge and to heal our bodies. But I do think a 24-week marathon training plan is the most optimal way for athletes that are trying to set a new personal best over the marathon distance should be following. And that's one of the main reasons why I did create 6-month training plans on RunDreamAchieve.com. It is an investment. I know it is. I've spent thousands of dollars on coaching and on training plans and on seminars over the years, trying to get to the next level in my own preparation as an athlete. And I've always felt that a 24-week marathon training plan, at least in my own background and how I was training leading up to several of my major races, 6 months was how much I really needed. Okay, I could not prepare well for a marathon in a matter of 8 to 12 weeks. Now, that being said, there are plenty of you out there, and you may be one example of this, that have a very limited amount of time to train. And so maybe an 8 to 12 week block of training just works best for you in terms of your time schedule. There's a lot of athletes that don't have so much the luxury of be able to train full time or to have that long 24-week or 6-month block of training. So I'm not saying you can't still set a new personal best, because obviously there's plenty of athletes out there that are setting new personal best in a matter of 2 to 3 months of training. But if you're looking for a long-term goal, a long-term vision in terms of what you want to do in the marathon distance, whether that's breaking a 3-hour marathon or trying to break the 5-hour marathon barrier, or you're trying to earn a Boston Marathon qualifier or an Olympic trial standard in the marathon, my advice to those athletes, and you may be one of them, is to definitely think long-term, because this is a sport where great success does not happen overnight, and you're going to set yourself up for success and not rush trying to get in great shape if you focus on a 6-month buildup. Okay, on RunDreamAchieve.com, I've created 8-week training plans, 12, 16-week, 20, and 24-week plans. And what I've noticed is the majority of the athletes that have invested in my training plans really see the greatest benefit from 16 out to 24 weeks. And I've seen really a lot of athletes that do the 20 to 24 week plans seem to get even better results. And again, it's not surprising for me, because I've done this for so many years, really focusing on 5 to 6 month buildups, that I know that the amount of time it takes for your body to adapt to the stresses you're placing on it usually takes about a month. So if you're doing, say, repeat 800s on the track right now, and you're running those repeat 800s at like 245 per rep, it's going to take you about 3 to 4 weeks to adapt to that particular intensity. So a 6-month buildup is a much better plan of action in terms of really teaching your body to adapt to the hard anaerobic workouts you're doing, whether they're intervals on the track or intervals on the road. But it just allots that sufficient time for your body to go through the stages of handling faster anaerobic workouts, rather than trying to cram it all in a matter of 8 weeks or even 12 weeks. And again, athletes are still setting new personal best in a matter of 2 to 3 month blocks of training. Again, it's just how you structure your training. How many weeks of easy aerobic mileage did those athletes do prior to starting those 8 to 12 week buildups? So that plays a factor for sure. If you just immediately start an 8-week plan and you haven't built any mileage at all leading into an 8-week plan, it's going to be very, very difficult to set a new personal best for the marathon in a matter of 2 months. But it can still be done. But my recommendation is always focus on a longer buildup. Okay, it just provides less stress on you as the athlete, allows you to get out there and to gradually extend the amount of time you're spending at your anaerobic threshold, running those tempo runs, gradually getting to a point where you can do your longer runs at a faster pace rather than just trying to jump in the first 1 to 2 weeks of your marathon buildup and think that you're going to do those long runs at a faster pace without much problems. Because again, most athletes that are trying to run too fast, too early, get frustrated, and they find themselves doubting themselves and start questioning their fitness and wondering if their best years are behind them and all these things and all these what ifs, when a lot of times it's just a matter of you need to train for a longer period of time. You need to be a little bit more patient in your buildup and gradually allow your body to adapt to the stresses you're placing on it. And a 24-week marathon training plan is the best way to do that if you really want to set a new personal best. And it's a longer block, and it takes several weeks for your body to adapt to doing varied pace long runs that I teach. And the long run variations that I talk about in my training courses, in the training plans, and in these videos that I've created here on RunDreamAchieve.com, all talk about running at paces during our long runs at VO2 max, at our anaerobic threshold, running around 85 to 88% of our max heart rate, and running at a VO2 max, like I mentioned, running around 95 to 100% of our max heart rate. That is not easy to do. So a 6-month block of training, a 24-week marathon training plan will allot sufficient time for you to handle running at those higher max heart rate, running at those faster anaerobic efforts. And so my recommendation, if you really want to set a new personal best, focus on a 6-month block of training. Don't try to rush your fitness and try to do it all in a matter of 8 weeks. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave me a comment below. Let me know in the comment section below, have you set a new personal best in a short amount of time, like 4, 8, 12 weeks? Have you set a new personal best for the marathon distance, or have you found greater success focusing on a 4, 5, and 6-month block of training? I'd love to hear that. Let me know how your training is going. I always love hearing how your races and your training are going. So definitely continue to leave me comments. I will definitely reach back out to you and respond, as you all know.